Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni. Great Malabite.
Good morning.
You were missing in action yesterday.
Yes, we had to.
It's good to see you.
Yes, we had to attend to some.
Taking some photographs.
No, we had to attend to some directorial matters.
all
all in the interest of the group.
Yeah.
The group.
Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning, Mr. Finney. Good to see you today.
A proud member of the Delta Wise Association. Good morning, Rufai.
Very good.
Now, we start the review with this day Nigeria's newspaper of record. We start with the lead story. Cardoso, CBN has no intention of intervening in Forex market. The central bank governor, Yemi Cardoso, yesterday in faraway Washington, was reiterated that the CBN stance of not intervening in the FX market. He insisted that the CBN remains firm in its commitment to fostering a market-driven exchange rate. Some commitment there. Speaking, of course, at the ongoing IMF World Bank spring meeting in Washington, he pointed out that the liquidity was returning to the FX market, signaling growing confidence and activity in the Nigerian economy. Of course, the CBN governor was upbeat yesterday that liquidity is returning. It reveals country recorded $600 billion inflows in 2 days. Naira appreciates to 1,072 naira to the dollar on official FX window. Now 1,100 naira to the dollar on parallel market. But one thing we cannot deny is that the gap between the FX, the parallel market and the official market has been closed significantly, which in itself, well, you can say some achievement on the part of the government of the day. But there are questions. And if we look at how other newspapers are reporting this story, the Vanguard newspaper reporting CBN not using reserves to defend Naira. Cardoso, ways and means no longer an issue. We made hard decisions quickly enough. Adds expectations of Nigerians often misplaced. I don't get that. Nigeria's FX reserve dropped to $32 billion. Now, if we look at the Business Day newspaper, perhaps some clarity there. Business Day, Naira gains put spotlight on petrodollar inflow. And according to the Business Day newspaper, the Naira's steep rise in recent weeks after hitting record lows has prompted questions about the whereabouts of the petrodollars generated by the NMPCL. The state-owned company, well, not exactly state-owned now, has traditionally been a key contributor to the country's foreign exchange reserves, which stood at $32.29 billion as of Monday, the lowest since September 2017. So, some questions there. And, well, the CBN governor clearly stating that, well, they are not dipping their hands into reserve to defend the Naira. Well, I want to just believe the central bank governor until otherwise somebody proves otherwise. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, court grants order suspending Ganduje as APC national chair. And if we look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper reporting this story, Kano High Court affirms Ganduje's suspension. Now, the Nigerian Tribune restrains him from parading himself as APC member. We won't comply with court order on Ganduje's suspension, APC vows. Tinubu is the target, says National Chairman. APC National Working Committee drags Kano High Court judge before NJC. Well, of course, the Blueprint newspaper, the Blueprint newspaper is not readily available. Also weighing in on this story, yes, talking about clash of court orders as EFCC's bid to arrest, this is the case of Kogi State. Clash of court orders as EFCC's bid to arrest ex-Kogi Governor Bello fails. Well, the issue yesterday, the drama, the EFCC trying to arrest former governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello. And there was a whole lot of shove and push, as it were. But the governor of the state, current governor, came, and that was how Yaya Bello was able to leave the scene yesterday. So what will the EFCC do now? But they're insisting that they will arraign the former governor today. But I don't know why former governor Yaya Bello will not just act as a gentleman. Recall Ayo Fayose, like him, hate him, courageous politician. When it was said then on his, the twilight of his administration that the EFCC wants him, immediately he packed his bag and said he was ready. And he went straight to EFCC and today, well, his matter is still with EFCC, but he walks around as a free man. I think Yaya Bello should take a leaf from Ayo Fayose's book. You should be able to account for your administration's doings while in office if EFCC says you have questions to answer, instead of creating a scene like we saw yesterday. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, Governors Atiku Wike test strength as PDP NEC meeting holds today. Ayu withdraws suit against party National Working Committee, passes vote of confidence on Damagum. North Central insists on completing Ayu's term. Well, it has been said it's going to be a make or mar NEC meeting for the PDP. I told one PDP bigwig yesterday, well, make or mar, but you have a tendency as a party to mar most of the time. I said, don't worry, this time we're going to make things right. Well, we'll all be watching the outcome of today's meeting, whether those who have one leg in PDP and another leg in the ruling party will be the ones holding sway in the PDP. Well, that's what politics is all about, contention of interest. And today, we'll just wait and see what the outcome will, whether the PDP will be able to redeem itself and come out strong as the main opposition party. Now, if we look at, the foreign newspapers quickly, the foreign newspapers, let's look at the Guardian newspaper. Brexit blamed as UK drug shortages put lives at risk. Lack of medicines for a range of illnesses. The new normal, according to a report. Well, you cannot eat your cake and have it. That's what the people of UK have to put up with, but I'm sure they will find a way around it. Now, the other story on the front page of The Guardian. Netanyahu rejects calls for restraint over Iran. But if we look at the New York Times, the lead story there, how Israel miscalculation poked at a hornet's nest, failing to anticipate Iran's response over a strike on its embassy in Damascus. Yes, perhaps Israel miscalculated. That's what this report is saying. In attacking the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria. But again, I hope there will not be another miscalculation, because Iran has promised that any attack on its interest and territory will be met with fierce force without notice. Ruben Rufai Ayo.
So, okay. Dr. Wati, go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say that, it was David Cameron, Lord Cameron, who had visited Netanyahu. And then he came back with a feedback that, Prime Minister Netanyahu is insisting that they will go ahead, there will be retaliation. And what that story is saying basically is Lord Cameron, the Foreign Secretary of the UK, confirming categorically that Israel says they will go ahead. But what nobody is sure of is the scale of that retaliation. And the hope is that, it will not be of such a scale that the entire world will be in peril. Already, the Western allies are considering sanctions against Iran, a part of which is President Biden talking about revisiting the Iran nuclear deal, because the suspicion is that, since the suspension of the Iran nuclear deal, that Iran may have quietly, in fact, acquired more nuclear warheads, making it a far more potent threat, to humanity. And finally, you didn't come yesterday. There's this story about one of our regular, resource persons on Arise News, who were told, collapsed and died. You know him very well. Colin Hassan Stanlabo, NDA product, fought, in Liberia during Kumok. And, it was a go-to person when it comes to issues about national development, security matters. And it was on this program. It was on This Day Live and other platforms where we commiserate with
very patriotic Nigeria,
with members of his family, with retired soldiers forum, of which he was a member, and more importantly, with members of his family. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Ofeni.